near you.
Hi, welcome to the show with Bigfoot Outlaw, and this is Angela Bowley, psychic portrait artist, and I paint portraits of spirits I'm able to see and hear, and I go ahead and as I paint them, I relay their messages. But on this show, I mainly stick to rune readings, and I just trying to see who's here tonight. I want to say, Curtis, hello, how are you? And see who else might be popping in tonight. I did do back-to-back psychic fairs as a vendor. One was 2 hours away, one was 2 hours and a half hour away. And I'm sorry to hear about Joanne, about your nephew passing away. I'm very sorry to hear about that, Joanne. No, it's been hard. I mean, it's been stressful for a lot of people. I really pray for you, Joanne. I really pray for your comfort and comfort for your family in a very, very difficult time. And, of course, I want to thank everybody coming, and I missed everybody, and blessings for everybody, certainly. Yeah. Oh, he's 34 years old, so young. I'm very sorry to hear that, Joanne. And my heart goes out to you. I'm very sorry. It's awful when somebody passes so young. That we still have that love connection. Oh, hi, Chris. How are you? Kathy, welcome. And of course, I did finish up on a painting, so I'll go ahead and share this with you. So I did have a coyote come to me in a dream, and it was coming down a hill. And as the coyote was coming, I thought, well, that's a coyote. And then it became a dog, and then it became a fox, and then as it was walking up to me, it became a coyote. So I went ahead and painted. This coyote is still with me, coyote spirit. This is the finished painting. I hope you like it. It's got the coyote here with glowing eyes. And you see the paws in the shadow, and you see her footprints, her tracks in the sky also. Of course, the wonderful thing about coyote as a spirit animal, coyotes are not only very smart, but they're very adaptable. They're very resilient, and they're just as home in the city as they are in the country. And they have that association with the trickster energy. And I got to spend some time with horses as well. Okay. His mom is beside me. Okay, Joanne, I'll go ahead and do a rune draw for you right away. Let's see what the runes have to say about your nephew, and just see if there's any messages that are coming through. Okay, so I'm going ahead and doing a rune draw, but I also see an arm reaching out. It's like I see what it looks like to me would be the nephew's arm reaching out and like putting his arm around somebody. I can't see who he's putting it around, but I do see like a arm reaching out and putting an arm around somebody. And what I'm getting from the runes here, so the first rune I got is Isa. So Isa is the rune of stillness. And the message that I'm getting here is it's all right, it's all right, it's all right, take time for yourself. I hear pause, give yourself space. And he says, I'm still here, I'm still here. And the next rune I got is Perthos. So Perthos about the future. And I'm getting a message saying, the future is still good. The future is still good. The next message I got, this is the I was rune. So this is death, regeneration, communication. And I'm getting the impression on this is like he says I'm going to see you soon. To me, that would indicate to me is that he would come and visit in a dream or have some sort of visitation or some sign from him that you can expect, but expect it soon. That's the messages that I'm having for you from your nephew at this point. Anybody else want a reading? Okay, Nilda. Okay, Nilda. And I have another rune set. There's a rune set that I actually made for myself from the local trees around here. Any messages from Nilda as to what you need to work on during the solar eclipse spiritually? The first thing that hits me is like, say goodbye to the old and hello to the new. So that's just right off the bat is what I'm getting. Like, the eclipse is coming, say goodbye to the past. It no longer has any control or power over you. And I was also told to say goodbye to the shadowy parts of you that had such a strong hold on you. Like, say goodbye to them. Say goodbye to the shadowy parts of the spirit self of the past. Like, you don't need those anymore. The first rune I got is Wunyo. So Wunyo is fresh start. It's joy. It's new beginnings. And what I'm getting off of this is like, mark the eclipse as a new beginning, the absolute destruction of the old and the rebirth of the new. And the next rune I got is Isa. It's just stillness. It's where we get the word ice from. But what I'm getting from this is meditation. Like, make sure that you are in a meditative state during the event. Okay. And the next rune I got is Thurasas. So Thurasas is the rune that is the rune of caution, boundaries. It is a thorn, like a thorn bush. I used to plant thorn bushes for boundaries. Now I'm getting on that is be caution with yourself. Don't put too much on yourself. Okay? It's like sometimes you have a tendency to take on too much, and make sure that you're not taking on too much. Set the boundaries where you're comfortable, and if you feel like you're being pushed to go over those boundaries, focus on your self-care. Is that the impression that I'm getting off of that? Okay. And then Chris, you also wanted a reading as well? Chris L. Okay, fantastic. I'll go ahead and do a reading for you too. I'm going to try something a little different with you, Chris. So these are, instead of cards being on, runes being on stones, this is in card form. And I've had great experiences with the cards too. So, but they might be just a little easier to see. So I will use these two. All right, Chris L. Let's get you a reading. What the runes have to say to Chris. Okay, so the first rune I got is Iwas. So Iwas is the rune of journey, of traveling. It even has, little notes about the rune on the bottom of the card. But Iwas is the rune of traveling. These are two horses facing each other. That's what they're supposed to represent here. In fact, I got to meet some horses this weekend. It was really nice. And this is moving forward. So I see a big transformation moving forward. Progress is what I'm getting on here, making good progress. And the next rune for Chris L. So I got Algae. So Algae is the rune of sanctuary. It is protection. It's also the three types of energy. You got neutral, positive, and negative on here. With that, Chris, I'm getting the impression that you're building something, like you're trying to build like a sanctuary for yourself, and creating a space here that you're trying to build the right life for yourself, that you just want things to be a certain way, is what I'm getting off of this. That is your sanctuary, to make something your domain. And see what the last one bunch is. So I got right though. So right though, again, journey. This is a journey of the sun. It represents honor. Take a journey with honor and integrity with the right intentions. I'm getting off of this, like, to set out about this, that intention is very important to the completion of this, to this progress, to stay focused on your intention, and particularly the right intention. Be specific about your intention. Okay, and then Joanne is asking for advice. No, usually I don't usually don't give advice. I can only speak from personal experience in regard to that. So, Joanne, I think we were talking about, let me go back in the comments a little bit if I can. Let's see what we were discussing earlier. Okay, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss you saying anything that I may have missed earlier. So any advice in regards to that? I mean, for me, when somebody has passed, I just let things unfold naturally. Like, when my grandmother had passed, and my grandparents had passed, I expect messages, but if they don't come through with one, I'm not going to hold that against them. I just keep myself open. I allow myself to grieve, and I take time to grieve, and I just make sure I set time to really let all my emotions out in regard to that. And I let things unfold naturally. So I don't set a deadline. I don't do anything like that. I know when we lose somebody, and especially when I've lost somebody, it's like, since I'm sensitive, I expect that somebody's going to be trying to reach out to me soon. And sometimes it's not until 2 or 3 years later, and then I hear from them. And I just trust the process. I just trust and believe that on the other side, that it's a much better experience, and that they are doing what they have to do first, and what they have to address first before they get time to talk to me. And there may even be preparation on that side that takes time. Though for them it doesn't take time, but for us it does. It takes time to prepare what message are they going to say. They're going to think about it. They're going to want to be specific about it, and how they're going to present themselves, and they're working on that. So I just let things fold naturally. Now, as far as the runes go, let's see what the runes have to say as far as advice during this time. And I'll go ahead and do that here for you. And then, Nilda, I'll go back to your meditation suggestion. Okay, so Joanne, let's see what the runes have to say. And I'll use the stones here. So the first rune I got, when it comes to, again, this is Iwas. This is the rune of death and regeneration. For the impression from this, the runes are saying, give yourself time to grieve. Give yourself time to grieve, where you're going through periods of really deep grief and sorrow and crying, and just allow that to unfold. Give yourself that space, and you'll regenerate. You'll regenerate from that. And it definitely will help. The next rune I got is Gabo. So Gabo is gift. I'm being told by the runes here is that understand that the nephew's crossing over into heaven is a gift for him, because heaven is a gift for everybody. And it's unfortunate for us that people leave sooner than we would like them to. But the runes are making and unequivocally saying that this is a gift for him, that he goes to heaven and experience the beauty and peace and love that is right there in heaven. And the next rune, as far as what the runes are saying, is Berkana. So this is nurturing. This is the divine feminine. And what I feel like the rune is saying from this, when I get Berkana to come up like this, is a lot of care, a lot of self care and support of one another through this time. Okay. And Nilda, you have any suggestions about a meditation that could help me with just sit? Okay. Um, so for meditation of things like this, so the sun is going to go through an eclipse. Um, I would imagine, just in my meditation, I would imagine the sun um, creating this ray of light that is literally burning off all the shadows of the past. And I would imagine shadows, like imagine everything that you kind of went through, and like a play form of shadows, and the play that's in the form of shadows, like a projection, and then the sunlight um, just breaking up and dissolving all those shadows, because the light is just too strong. The shadow and the darkness can't stand it, so it all just disappears and dissolves all the everything that's in the past. And to say something like, I release the past, or the past has no power over me, I am a new person, something to the effect of, I release the past has no power over me, now I'm a new person, I'm a new created being. I am now a higher form of light, and I acknowledge and I embrace the higher form of light that I have become. Some affirmation of that sort, and just meditate on that phrase. And that, I think, would be a meditation that would be good for you based on the reading that what I was given. So this is some of the imagery that comes through for me for you. And then Chris saying, yes, it was the best time meeting. Okay. Thanks for the life and the reading. It's always, spirit always comes through with what we need to hear. Exactly, Chris. Okay. And I want to make sure that I'm not skipping over anybody. Okay, yeah, finding that balance between grounding, stability, at the same time surrendering the control. It is very challenging. And for me, I got into a habit of it. And for me, I just go within and just kind of, okay, I'm in the present moment. Peace is always with me. Let me feel that peace within, and then now bring that peace outward and around me. And that does seem to help me. Okay. And Care Bear, Bard of Cards, is here also. Robert White, thank you for coming. And I want to let you know, too, I had a great weekend. I had back-to-back readings. Well, actually, back-to-back psychic fairs. And incredible experiences, incredible validations. I did pick up on a woman's grandmother who kept coming through. I could just see her, kind of like from the chest down. I couldn't quite see her face. She was just showing me like her slippers and her house dress. And I relayed that she would say, "Oh, come have a cup of tea, dear." And that she liked to stay at home, and she went outside. She liked gardening, but she liked being more of a homebody. And she kept showing me teapots, and she said she collected her grandmother's tea saucers and has them on display. And as we talked more, there was no doubt that this was the grandmother coming through, and including her sisters and her brother had also come through, who had passed. And they're all in the religious order. So her sisters are nuns, and she had a brother who was a monk. And they're still doing work on the other side, even though they have passed. And Care Bear, Bard of Cards, could use some advice. You feel shifts happening around me. We're all feeling shifts. Like all of us that are sensitive or have abilities or gifts, or like we're all feeling a big shift happening. And our abilities are just, they're surging in many ways. So let's just see what the runes have to say, and of course I'll speak from my experience also, and see if that will help you too. So let's see, Care Bear, Bard of Cards. First one I got is Isa. So the first thing when I touched this room, I heard just take it all in. So not judging, just be objective, just take it all in. Okay, and you feel like people are watching. Okay, yeah, And the next rune I got here is Nadis. So Nadis is the rune of um, being held back, but it's a necessity, it's emergency, that type of feeling, but it also could be love and protection. And my impression is that we have to just be careful, and that you have to invoke a lot of protection, because when I feel like there's eyes on you, now these could be beings that are positive. There are beings that don't look out for our best good either. There are those types of eyes on us, but you can always feel like you're being watched a lot. So this rune is saying just make sure that you set up boundaries for protection for yourself. Understand and recognize your own power. I'm being shown like to put white light around you, but in a very thick boundary around you. So you can meditate, channel in that bright white light, and make sure it's a thick boundary all the way around, okay, and above you and below you. And the next rune I got is Iwas. So Iwas is travel. This is two horses facing each other. What I'm getting for this rune is telling me that we're making a rapid progress, sort of as in the universe, like to a higher frequency, and it's a rapid movement. It's a big transformation that's happening. So all of us are being affected energetically, and the impression I'm getting from the runes, like when this happens, embrace the shift first of all, and ask your guides for assistance, and specifically ask for the guides that love you completely. Those are the ones you're going to want help with, right? You want you to help. You want have helping you. So ask for everybody on the other side who loves you and who is your guide and who wants to help you, that they come forth and they help you and they assist you and they help you through this transition, because they're already enlightened. They're already on the other side. They've already are at a higher frequency, and they can help teach us how to adjust and how to move that along. So for meditation, I mainly ask for my angels for help. So I ask my angels to help me, to make sure that they communicate with me and they let me know what's going on, and they come to me and they support me and they love me and they reassure me, and I get coaching from them. And I do have a variety of spirits around me who help me, and I'm very appreciative of them. And prayer is another thing you can do. You can always ask in prayer, and when you pray, you actually, and these are actually, there are supportive spirits, there are angels, beings from heaven that will come and help you through this. You will get a feel of, you'll feel that support coming through. You feel them with you as you pray. Fantastic, Care Bear. Yeah, you feel that. And you also said that you've been doing that and they have saved you from a lot of situations. Yeah, me too. It's been my experience. And I love how they come and they teach, and sometimes they just take my frequency and increase it all without me having to do anything. They just come in and increase my frequency and my gifts and abilities and the amount of information, and I'm amazed that just happens on its own without me having to make any effort. Okay, let's see what Dao. Let's see what the runes have to say for Dao. All right, Dao, what we got here? See, I felt drawn to these guys today. Let's see. So for Dao, I got Manas. So Manas is the rune of the Bifrost Bridge. It's the rainbow bridge between the spiritual, the physical world. This is also memory, intellect, wisdom. And what I'm getting on here is embracing wisdom, but I see I'm seeing a very specific structure. So I actually see what they call the treasury. This is the Petra. It was built by the Nabateans many thousands of years ago, and the Nabateans built this incredible place in the desert that had water irrigation, and it looks beautiful. It has pillars. You can actually look up Petra and look up the treasury, and you can actually see. And they found amazing archaeological discoveries there. So when I see that Petra in particular, it's like it represents ancient wisdom. So if the runes seem to say seek out ancient wisdom, seek out ancient wisdom. So what did the ancient people have to say? Seek out their wisdom. What did they write down? What did they record? Now the next rune I got is, this is coming up a lot. This is Iwas. This is the rune of movement, rapid movement forward. This is journey. This is travel. And again, I'm being told that we're all being kind of moved higher up in frequency. So I was told that this is going to be a very powerful journey for you, going and seeking ancient wisdom and what the ancients had to say about, particularly about the spirit world transition and applying wisdom to your everyday life, applying that wisdom to your everyday life. And wisdom coming from a spiritual place is another thing I was told to say to you. Wisdom comes from a spiritual place. It's not from the material world, it's from the spirit world. So the next rune I got for you is Berkana. Now, for me, it's this way, but the camera has to turn it the other way. So Berkana is the divine feminine. And I do feel like there is awakening of divine feminine energy that's going on. And this is the nurturing energy. So you do see a little bit coming out because we are rediscovering a lot of information archaeologically wise about women from the past and goddesses we didn't know about that are just more and more that's just coming to light about the divine feminine. The divine feminine has a universal purpose of healing and nurturing for all of us, regardless of what gender you are. So calling upon this divine feminine and in particular the wisdom of the divine feminine, because I feel like we're part of what the world needs. And what I was shown a while back was that we need the divine feminine. We've been in the masculine for so long that we haven't balanced out with the feminine, and that we need to connect with the divine feminine again, and we are waking the divine feminine in our spiritual natures again. Yes, yeah. And you've been getting downloads. Deserts and forest, okay. And then, yes, they want their voice to be heard, you feel, yeah. Yes, and I feel like there's especially beings that are wiser and had more experience with us that want to share wisdom with us. And we don't always listen here, but we need the divine feminine to help balance our impulsiveness and our destructiveness. We definitely need the divine feminine to come through. Yes, exactly. They need to have their voices heard. Absolutely. I do feel that. And you're welcome, Dal. And of course, I was this weekend, yesterday, I was actually around horses a lot. And if you notice that Ewas came up and that there's two horses facing each other, and then Rytho is another horse rune, and horses kind of feature dominantly in the runes more than other animals. It's not a whole lot of animal symbolism in the runes, but horses, what it is there, it's a horse, a deer, or a cow. Those are the animals they would be most familiar with. And horses have been with us for a very long time, and they're very deeply connected with us. And it was wonderful. This Sunday, I went to a psychic fair as a vendor at Sand Hill Stables. And Sand Hill Stables, they rehab horses. They have a lot of program for kids with horse training and working with horses. And they are just amazing. They're so sensitive, and they just feel energy, and they seem like they understand exactly what you're saying to them, probably because they pick up your energy so well. And I had horses come up to me, and they would kiss me on the cheek and then give me a little hug and just put their head right up against my face, put their cheek right up against my cheek, and just kind of hug me. And they are very healing. They are wonderful. The connection that the horses have It's like they have a very good emotional intelligence. They've been able to prove that with horses. And one horse, that she was so affectionate with me, and she actually stepped outside when she saw I was loading my car, and when I was getting ready to leave, and oh, she wanted me to come over to her and give her a pet. So, like saying goodbye. So she wanted that, and I did that with her. But yeah, horses are just, they're amazing. They're beautiful animals too, and I'm impressed as how tall and powerful they are, yet they're so gentle. And we've got, you know, I live with three cats and a dog, and they're all very sweet. Okay. Right, and you said that, Chris, you're fighting each other to find that sweet balance of grounding, stability, control, and sometimes um, I think of animals. Sometimes I just call them my guides. Sometimes from that. And Chris asks, only if time can you sense who possibly came through the EMF that was adamant we went to the fair yesterday. Just curious because definitely had a purpose. It turned out to be the best day. What came through that day? It really felt like the angels came through that day, like a lot of angels coming through, and like they're helping us in a very personal level, and it feels like they're able to connect with us stronger. So I really felt that too. I really felt like the presence of the divine light was right there and just made it a perfect day. And I asked for that. I prayed for that a lot. Anytime I'm going to a psychic fair, I start praying about it as soon as I know about that's going to happen, and ask for that be blessed. And I really felt a special connection. And I felt like it was like a message from the other side, like we're going to be all here for healing. Like something really wonderful is going to happen, and these angels were coming through. Particularly, the Archangel Gabriel and Raphael. Definitely, I believe they came through. Yeah, it's absolutely a time of balancing and divine justice. You're absolutely right. A time of reckoning too. So there's no more excuses at this point for a lot of people that have been putting this off. Hey, you're welcome, Chris. And there's a beautiful time out there on the farm. I would love to go back there. I can't wait to go back there. That was beautiful out there at the stable with so many horses and being so nice and so friendly. Okay. And did anybody else have any other questions? And I have another event coming up in Marietta. I will be at the Anchorage Mansion again in Marietta, Ohio, and you have to sign up at hiddenmarietta.com and sign up ahead of time for that one. And those start at noon. They usually go to about 6 or 7 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock in the evening is usually when they start their paranormal tours of the place. So yeah, so first impression, yeah, releasing fear is tough. Yeah, it's tough to release fear. And one of the amazing things is that I've even from as little had spirit animals reaching out to me, even when I was very little, that would help me on spirit animals. And the one of the animals that helped me release fear the most was the wolf. Of a wolf spirit who was with me, and he actually confronted me about my fears and saying, "You need to face this, and you need to move forward. You have to move past your fear. There isn't any way to get around that. You have to move past it." And I absolutely believed him, and he helped me so much. It wouldn't be any type of success in my life if it wasn't for that wolf coming to me many times in my dreams, speaking to me as I'm speaking to you. But he was telepathic, and he was showing me, and it was just amazing. I would have like an out of body vivid dream experience with him. Yeah, and you believe, okay, that has a regular event with the regular holistic fairs. Yeah, Carol does. She does. Has a lot. Carol has a lot of regular events at her fair. So, and I think it's every Sunday in October, I'll be at a fair of hers. So I'm putting on my Facebook page, And Care Bear says that's been calling to be sheep on the outside, wolf on the inside. Yeah, the wolf spirit is a very powerful animal, highly intelligent, and they can actually take you on vision quests. They'll actually take you out, to out of body experiences, and they are such a high frequency vibration being. It's just amazing, and you feel so loved in their presence, especially if they bring the pack with them, because a wolf pack is just another loving family, and they'll be happy to look after you and love you and make sure you feel loved throughout their teaching experience. And Dow Dow. So, am I going to get out of this anxiety that you're feeling lately? Okay, well, let's just take a look about anxiety. Hey, Kathy A, I'm going to get to you next after I do Dow Dow here, real quick. Okay, so Dow Dow. The first rune I got, this is Sowilo. Sowilo is success, right, in like a lightning bolt. So, yes, what I'm getting is like the anxiety is things just kind of come to your attention. It's like a nervousness, like, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Or what's the next worst thing's going to happen? And sometimes I think we pick up on everybody's anxiety too. We have the collective anxiety that we pick up on. But then I got I was here for you, which is death and communication. But in particular, I got death of the old self and awakening of the new. So the anxiety is can be over this change. Now understand that this anxiety is just a part of the transition process. So it's just one that you can accept and say, okay, it's just part of the process. It's nothing I have to really be concerned with. The next rune I have again, it comes up again, wisdom. This is Kenya. It's like seek wisdom, trust your intuition. But when you're having anxiety, what I would do is just take a really deep breath and know that there's peace with you. You can feel your guides with you, and just feel light within yourself, and imagine that light expanding from your heart outward, and know that's peace within you, that expanding outward, and have that peace around you, and that will instantly bring your anxiety down. At least for me, it did. Now, I hope that works for you. And I saw somebody else. Yeah, social media does create a lot of anxiety, and you can actually feel it, because I think what we're experiencing a lot is a collective anxiety, right? We have war that has been going on, the Ukraine-Russian situation. You have Poland gearing up for war. They put a lot of troops on their border, and you have also a lot going on in the news recently, and it's creating a lot of anxiety. So we feel that collective anxiety, a lot of tension that's in the air. And I think somebody else, Kathy A. Yes, Kathy wanted a reading. So Kathy, let me go ahead and do a reading for you. Somebody use my down here. Kathy A. And Anthony wants one too. I haven't seen you, Anthony, in a while. Okay, Kathy. So the first rune I got for you, this is Wunyo, and these are my own runes I made at home. You could tell you're kind of rough-hewn wooden runes here. But what I got is, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. That's the message I keep getting. It's going to work out. It feels like you may have some sort of worry about something, whether it's going to be bad or what's going to turn out good. This is going to be all right. Everything's going to work out all right. It's got Wunyo. The next rune I got this is Mana. So this is the humanity. This is the Bifrost Bridge. This is intellect. This is anything human-centered, and also the bridge between the spirit world and the physical. I'm feeling from this, it's actually being told this like represents something that you have to deal with and cross. Like, I have to cross that bridge. It's like I have to make this decision. I have to move forward with this and not be afraid to do it. It may look risky, but I've got to carry that out. And the next rune, this is Ewas again. Again, two horses facing each other. This rune's been coming up a lot. This is motion. This is moving forward. So after you cross that bridge, and it feels like on the other side of it, it's like, why didn't I even have any type of nervousness or hesitation? Now that I'm on the other side of this, I can see how this is a benefit for me. It's so much better over here than it was before I decided to take that risk, decided to move ahead. So it to me it feels like you're pending something, that you're pending this decision. Should I do? Should I shouldn't? Runes are saying it's going to work out, and that you can actually cross that bridge, like literally make the decision to go forward with that decision, and then with the decision on the other side of it ends up being a benefit. So a very positive message there for you. And Anthony. All right, Anthony, see what we got here for you. So the first rune I got is Othala. So Othala is family, DNA, inheritance, and also be prosperity as well. So this rune is showing me a collective prosperity of family, not just you prospering like your entire family. You prosper as a whole as opposed to individuals, is what I'm seeing. I'm glad that resonated with you, Kathy. Now you understand everything. Issue at work with a coworker. You're welcome. And next rune I got for you, Anthony. This is Dagon. So this is the rune of enlightenment, but it's also I'm feeling balanced with this, because this is the height of the sun and the highest point in the sky. So you have the brightest light and then the darkest shadow from the sun. So I'm getting on here. I'm feeling balanced, like your whole family comes into the sense of this balance and harmony, like you right where you want to be, the sweet spot. Okay, and the next rune for you, Anthony, I got is Helgelas. So Helgelas is the rune of disruption, interference, chaos, but it can also be transformation and healing from the past. So the impression I'm getting there is you're in a sweet place, you're in a good spot, but I'm also getting a sense of things happening too fast. Like there's too fast of a pace for all of you, and that you need to slow down. And just so that things don't come so fast, they become chaotic, and that you don't get to reconnect and maintain that togetherness and the harmony that you do have and that you have built. Okay. And I like Care Bear, Bird of Courage. It says, I'm the eye of the storm. Well, that doesn't serve me, falls away. That's right. Okay. And yeah, making the forest into a garden of vegetables. Okay. I love this. Yeah. Because we all feel like family, all support each other. Definitely. Did anybody have any questions or need any other rune drawings? So Anthony's like awesome. Yeah, just don't go too fast. Don't take on too fast, Anthony. But the runes seem to be saying, okay. And what message do you see with my granddaughter that was attacked by a crazy lady? The police haven't found her yet, so can be arrested. Is Leah going to be okay? She's 13 years old. Okay, so let's see what we have for her. I'm so sorry to hear about that. Okay, let me see what the runes have to say about this. So the first rune I got is Rytho. So Rytho is right action, purpose. And I feel like she has kind of developed from this like a sense of justice. Like she feels like she has to stand up for people that have had some injustice done to them. It's like a sense of justice there. Of like seeking justice, like she has a duty for justice. And the next rune I have is Helgelas. It's that disruption, like this thing. What I'm getting from this, that this was random. It wasn't like something that she was targeted specifically. Like this was a random attack. This person is just an agent of chaos. Okay, the person that did the attack is just like they're not right in their head. They are themselves chaos. So this wasn't something targeted specific towards her. And the next one I got is algae, so is sanctuary. So she needs to know, she needs to feel safe. And what I'm seeing, What I saw on her mind is a self-defense course, like taking matters in her hands in the sense of taking responsibility for my own safety, feeling empowered to do that, feeling more confident about my awareness and situational awareness, and basically turning that event into something more positive. So that's the impression I get from the runes. I've engaged in self-defense. I've been in self-defense courses. I did Krav Maga for years. I did Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and also boxing. And it's a wonderful experience. I tell you, it's a very rich. It's good for your mind and your body. And then Crafty would like a reading. Oh, Joanne, that's wonderful. You said your sister validated, and so son's arm reaching when her son hugged her. She snuggled and fell right into him like it was Jesse. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. And Crafty would like a reading. I'm going to go ahead and do a reading for you, Crafty. Okay, let me go ahead and do that for you. Okay, Crafty. So the very first rune I got for you is Kenyas. So Kenyas is the rune of wisdom and intuition. And my impression from this rune is that you shut down your intuition. You're all focused on intellect, but the rune says to bring yourself back to listening to your intuition. It says it's there. It feels like where you feel your intuition, it's like down in here. It's like down in your gut. It's like you probably get used to say, my gut tells me this. Oh, that's where I feel like you kind of shut it off, but it is there, and that the rune is saying you should open that back up and understand and listen to your intuition as much as you listen to your intellect. And that's what the rune is saying. And next rune, it says Algae. So Algae is the rune of sanctuary protection. And I don't even think this is for your protection. It's like your gut's looking out for you, like your intuition is looking out for you. So listen to your intuition. It is for your protection. Okay? Because it feels like the runes are saying you need to engage your intuition more for your own safety. Okay? For your own protection. The next rune, this is Nadis. Again, this is another protection rune. So I'm seeing protection repeated again twice here. So protection, this is when we did this, when we crossed your fingers behind your back, this was actually evoking the protection quality of this rune. This is Nadis. This is the rune of emergency, the need fire. These are two sticks being rubbed together in case of emergency. The runes are telling me that you need to, there's going to be a situation where you're going to have to act fast. It's going to be so fast you'll have to act. You have no choice but to rely on your intuition. So it's better for you to start talking to your intuition now and opening yourself out to listening to your intuition. So when the time comes when you really need that and you have an emergency that you have to respond in, you listen to your intuition because you're going to have to act instinctively. You won't have time to think. You'll have to rely on your intuition. I think that's what the runes are saying. And Crafty says he feels that. Absolutely. And for some people, it's tough for them to listen to the intuition, and they have to take little steps to listen to it, like the little exercises, like writing, in a diary, just not thinking about your writing and just writing, or getting a hold of writing down your dreams, so you're actually paying attention to the intuitive side, where kind of the intuition is very strong usually in your dreams. You can practice intuition. Just by sitting down and meditating, clearing your mind, and just observing what you feel. Like, what is the highest thing to do is just to clear your mind and just observe. How does your body feel? How does your arm feel? How does your, how does your head feel? How do you feel inside? What does your emotional state feel like? Can you feel your surroundings? And just tap into that, and that will help with your intuition. Oh, wonderful, Neil, that reading was spot on, and she's not going to let anybody take her freedom away. She's very strong. Her reading was on point, Self-defense, that was I was seeing. So when she gets older or when she gets a chance, she'll probably jump at the chance at a self-defense course. And I was involved in a charity that did just that. And I actually participated in a strong women competition to help benefit this charity. And all they did was teach girls self-defense. And so young girls can have that tool in their toolbox and have that empowerment and that awareness and the ability to defend themselves. Yeah, it seems to have shut down because you said I'm not talking to you, and then it says, "Oh, fine, I'm not going to talk to you if you're not going to listen to me." So yeah, you have to engage it, and you have to let it know that you want to talk to the intuition, you want to listen to your intuition, and you start taking the little steps that you need to do that, like writing a journal and transcendental meditations are the best one as far as I'm concerned, or what's called Zen Buddhist meditation, which you focus on awareness of breath, awareness of you, and then eventually you focus on your awareness when you can actually almost aware of your ego, like yourself, looking inward. It's like observing the observer is how they say it in Buddhism. And I find that very beneficial too, because then you're paying attention to things you normally would not have paid attention to. Okay, so any other questions for me? And on Facebook, of course, you go to Angela Bowley, Psychic Portrait Artist on Facebook, but you might do it on Google. You actually have to search in Google and type my name, Angela Bowley, Psychic Portrait Artist, to find my Facebook page and my website, because Facebook has shadow banned me, so you can only get to my Facebook page through Google. And then once you're there, you'll see my calendar events. So the next one is the Anchorage Mansion, but in October I will be booked. I will not only be at the Holistic Health and Psychic Fairs every Sunday in October, but also the 17th and 18th, I believe. No, it's probably a little bit later than that. I actually will be at the Old Paulding Jail again. So I think 17th and 18th, I think, is Wands and Wizards, and I believe that one is kind of pending right now. It's kind of up in the air, but I'm hoping to participate in Wands and Wizards this year in Lancaster. But there's also another vet I'm considering at the same time, depending on which one pans out the best. And I'll keep you updated on my Facebook page and on my website. I put events on both those pages so you can keep up with me with my calendar and where I'm going to be, and you'll see that. And of course, I'll update you on Mondays when I'm on, where I'm going to be next. But blessings to all of you. Is there anything else that anybody wants to say or have any questions on before we wrap this up? Oh, you're welcome. I love being here. I feel like this is a special blessing and a privilege that I get to speak to all of you and do readings for you. Thank you so very much. And yes, there will be more paintings. I'm working on one right now. So one of spirit guides is coming through, an elderly man, talking about wisdom and us moving up to a higher level. And I was actually shown in the dream exactly what to paint and what symbols to include. And it was very, very clear, unusually clear. So since we're all moving up, our abilities seem to be supercharged, and the communication from the spirit world seems supercharged at this time. So I'm working on a painting now, and you'll see the progress on it on my Facebook page. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope everybody has a wonderful night, and I will see you next Monday.
YouTube channel near you.